All right, welcome back to another episode of the Detailers Reunion, the podcast that aims to bring all corners of the automotive industry into one place. As always, I am your host, Eddie Ojera, and with me today is Dustin Anders.
Oh man, it's kind of weird being on this other side.
I know. It's been a minute. It's been, I don't know, probably about a couple months now. A bunch of stuff has happened, so we kind of want to do a little bit of a different episode today. So kind of what we're going to do, the rundown is we're going to kind of catch you guys up on the things that we've done as a shop, like Michigan Speedway, Bristol Speedway. We're going to talk about some of the dirty cars, some of the classic cars, and we also have a special guest in Brian from Brayo's Tints and Wraps coming on. So he'll be on about halfway in the show. So how you been, Dustin?
I'm good. You know how it is. We see each other every day, pretty much.
Yep. It's more recently. It's been every single day of the week since we've been going on a couple of these trips. So.
Seriously, though.
All right, so I wanted to get into kind of like where we left off last time. So we were about to be going to Michigan Speedway when we first did the last podcast with Matt Kemp. So that's kind of where I wanted to start. So how do you think the whole trip at Michigan Speedway went? Pretty good?
It was a mix. It was a little bit of a mix because it was good overall, I'd say. It had a few hiccups, but we worked our way around those hiccups, such as parking, such as
oh my god, yeah, wait
my gosh, that parking is terrible at Michigan. But
so it started off we went down there Friday after work. We went to go watch the ARCA race, which was cool. So we linked up with Matt Kemp. We got to go into the pit road. We got to see the ARCA race, which fucking sucked.
It was a terrible race. That was so bad, so boring.
Yeah, that race is. I just don't know about the ARCA. I mean, you got two drivers that are basically at the top of the food chain there. Yeah. And
well, I mean, if you put them on a big track like that too, it's bound to be a boring race because they're just going to be so far ahead of everybody. There's no action. There's none.
We seen Connor Zillich there. It was kind of funny because Matt had said something to us about that's going to be a future star. And I was like, I don't really want to signature. Then a couple weeks later, this man is all over the news. He's going to be the next hot thing in NASCAR. He's driving for Junior Motorsports next year. But so when we linked up with Matt, it started off well. He got us to pit passes. Then we kind of ran into a little bit of trouble going into the next day. For
Saturday was a little rough. We had to pull a couple sneaky moves in there to even watch the race.
Yeah, yep. It was kind of crazy. So the years before, Matt would be able to get the passes for the 3 days, all races. But this year time around, he was only able to get it for the one race, and we didn't know that until we got there. So obviously we're not going home after just a shitty ARCA race.
Well, I mean, we still had tickets to Sunday's race, so we couldn't.
No, we didn't. I remember I bought them there.
Oh, you bought them there?
I didn't buy it.
I thought you already had the NASCAR bought.
No, because we were going, and I was like, I wonder if I need to buy tickets because we just had pit passes.
The passes. You thought the passes were going to do the whole weekend.
And from what always had happened, we'd always get in all those races. But instead, we came back Saturday. I actually kind of want to show a video of us on pit road real quick.
Oh, yeah, the pit road. That is still the coolest experience I've had at a race. I've been to that track several years.
So we got to go out there. This is pretty ridiculous.
I didn't even think we were going to be able to go out to that part. When we were in the pit, I thought that was what we're just allowed to go to. We were going to be able to go out into that winner's circle out there.
Yeah, Michigan's a pretty dope track. It's huge. We got to see a couple flips going in the Xfinity race.
Which is wild.
Yeah, so getting back to that, we had no passes, no tickets to the Xfinity race. Mind you, disclaimer, we were not with Matt Kemp on Saturday or Sunday.
No.
So we had these ARCA passes, and somebody gave us the bright idea just to try them for Saturday. So basically what we did, we just made a beeline for the entrance. We had our passes. We showed them the passes. They double looked, and by the time they double looked, we were long gone. It was too late. So we were already through the entrance in there. So we got into the race for free. So we were automatically going to be seeing the Xfinity race for free. So, but that wasn't really the end of it. We wanted to go down into the pits like we did the day before.
Yeah, that's where things went crazy.
Yep.
That's where things went wrong.
That's when we tried to, and then they caught us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they caught me. So like I was making my way because I lost where you guys were because I think you went to go get like a drink or earplugs, whatever it was.
Earplugs.
And I lost where you guys were. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot for it. I saw my opening. And then you stopped me from going. I had to go. You stopped me, and then we got back, and next thing you know, we're like, okay, now let's try it. And next time we tried it is when
two high schoolers stopped us.
Yeah, they stopped me. You
Yeah.
you were about to get through just fine.
Yep.
Is that they like? I guess I just made too much eye contact where they're like, "Oh, hold on, come back here."
Right.
And
they checked them and
didn't
told
work.
us we couldn't do it, but they didn't say shit about us being there.
Yes.
So we walked away right away, so they couldn't get into that.
Like I didn't want to get kicked out, so I was like, okay, fine, we'll just go do our thing. Maybe we'll try again later, but it was just
I think then we watched the race.
Yes.
Which was really cool. We sat in pretty good seats for that.
Which is a lot better race than the ARCA, I'd say. It was a lot more exciting.
There was a flip in the Xfinity race.
Yes. Which those cars aren't supposed to do.
No,
which is absolutely insane.
In NASCAR. I don't have a video of that, but going into the Michigan race, after that, once we watched the race, we tried to make a beeline to it again, and we got down there this time because there was no security by the end of the race.
We wanted to wait for the traffic to clear because we knew the traffic was going to be bad. Trying to get out of there, so we were like, let's go waste some time. Let's see if we can go do this again. We actually got down into the pits this time, and there wasn't much going on, so we kind of just walked around and whatnot, and
went to the.
And then we went to the infield.
Yeah, we snuck through there.
You got to see the infield. You got to see because that's the 4 years I went before then. That's where I stayed is the infield, and that's a different experience in itself.
On a big track like that, any 2.5 mile track, you got to camp it.
Oh my gosh.
There's no reason to not camp
I
it.
love MIS's infield. It is such a fun environment to be in. It kind of gives you a whole new perspective of NASCAR.
Like a mini Talladega.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's so much fun.
Then the NASCAR race going into Sunday. I've turned a shit weekend. I mean, you talk about a bad timing weekend. So we get there, the race starts going good. Did we see? We saw that the flip was that day.
No. The flip was the Monday because Sunday got rained out.
Yep.
And it was just pockets of rain, like nothing too major, but it was just enough and constantly enough to.
They're not going to put the wet tires on this track because it's too big.
And you can't go too late because there's no lights on the track, so they just had to call it.
Yeah.
And
so it got rained out. It got pushed to Monday.
Yep.
Dustin didn't go back. Dustin came back to the shop and worked on Monday.
Yep, I held down the fort here.
Yep. So then I went back. I paid for the ticket, so I was definitely going back up there. So I took my dad. Race was really good. It had quite a bit of cautions. This right here.
Just the flip that happened Monday.
Makes contact, and then there.
Oh my god!
As soon as the car gets sideways,
that shit was crazy.
Yeah, it just lifts the car.
What's crazier is that's the same exact flip that we saw at the Xfinity race.
Well, let's hear from Dave first.
And it landed in the same spot.
Yeah,
it flipped over the same way, slid, hit the same spot in the wall, and landed in the same spot. Because on the replay, you can see the tire marks in the grass from the day before or the couple days before.
It almost makes you wonder if MIS needs to look at their track a little bit and get that figured out.
From what I've seen on podcasts, they think due to the rains and winds, they think they had a wind coming down the back stretch and it would get under the car. But they spent how many billions of dollars to not get these cars to flip? So
there's so many precautions in there that for these flipping. They like the flaps that you'll see, that's to cause the car not to flip.
Yeah, Yeah, so it was a pretty good race. To be honest, the facility at Michigan fucking sucks.
It's so outdated.
Especially going there, I kind of expected not the greatest. But after seeing Bristol's not the best
it's
either,
not
but
great,
it's way
but
better
it's
than Michigan.
So much better. It seems so much cleaner, so more well put together.
It's like at Michigan, you're going back into the 70s and 80s of racing.
That's probably the last time they updated it, really.
Yeah, even the bathrooms are bad.
It was so bad.
Then the parking. I wish I had a video. I wish I took videos of the parking.
How long do you think we sat in that parking? Probably like
2.5 hours.
Was it 2.5?
We sat in the same spot.
It was like 2.5, 3 hours, I feel like.
We sat in that one single spot where I pulled out just an inch, and we sat there for 2.5 hours before we even moved.
Stupid.
Like, then you have these people, since the race got rained out, everybody's all pissed. So they're everybody's flipping each other off, fucking yelling at each other to get in the line. Even if you got in the line, you're still not going anywhere.
Yep.
So
nobody's working together. That's the thing about everyone becomes selfish at that point, where it's like you worry about yourself. You don't, and it'd be so much easier if we just all work together and try to get out here at the same time.
Well, Michigan needs to do something about how do you not have people out there
Yeah, exactly.
directing
Like,
traffic.
I feel like they could do the parking
Like,
so much better.
oh my
There's
God.
so many better ways
It's
that
such
they
a
can.
big field. Like, dude, open up the engine.
Exactly.
What the hell?
But
Then just what we got, this was last weekend. We went down to Bristol Speedway.
Bristol was fun.
Dude, Tennessee was really nice.
I want to move down there so bad.
Yeah, as soon as we got driving through, that was so cool.
It's nothing like you see up here in Michigan for sure.
No, not even close. The Appalachians are definitely super nice. Even the Airbnb that we stayed in was real nice.
Oh, this flyover gave me chills.
Yeah, this was. You got an AC 130 coming. You got the fireworks.
I think the fireworks is what really put it over the top.
It's a dope track. Obviously, everybody knows the race wasn't that great.
No.
But the track itself, I was telling Dustin and my dad, I could have sat there for another 500 laps just in hopes of watching the race with wrecks.
Yeah,
It is a cool
I'm
place to be.
surprised there wasn't any. Yeah.
Ton of people. I seen the attendance was like 98,000.
98,000.
Yeah, it was about 100,000 people there, and there were still seats open.
That flyover gave me chills when it happened.
Yeah, that was really
It
cool.
was one of the neatest flyovers I've ever witnessed.
And here's a photo of Bristol at night.
Such a
Best
beautiful
racetrack. I mean,
so beautiful.
oh my God. The only other sunset that I've seen like this at other racetracks is Homestead in Miami.
It's so neat having the mountains in the background, the lights on. It's a different environment at Bristol than at MIS. Way different.
Yeah, then they have this too. So I really want to go back to this next year.
The
This
baseball
is
field.
Yeah, this is going to be the Speedway Classic where they have the Reds
Yes.
and the Braves playing in here. Just being up in those stands, you're not going to be very close, but dude, it's gonna be so cool.
Oh,
Imagine you
yeah.
get a home run hit out there.
I still wonder how I guess I see it now. The Jumbotron up there.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of out of the way. I was wondering how they were going to do that because the fly balls and whatnot, but I guess by that picture, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a little more out of the way, so there's no interference there.
I wonder if anybody can hit that.
I bet you could.
So yeah, the Bristol race, Larson led like
Kyle
462 laps.
Yes.
There was 3 cautions, no wrecks, all spin outs. Nobody hit each other. Logano hit the wall. Probably one of the most boring races of the year.
You said
it.
before that race. I want to see something historical, and
Yep.
yes, it wasn't the most exciting historical, but it was
boringest race.
It was historical, the fastest race time period to ever happen at Bristol, and then the most laps led at Bristol. So we saw 2 historical things that night.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it. All right, so moving past all the NASCAR stuff, we probably won't be out to another NASCAR race. The season for Matt, I believe, has come to an end.
Matt's done it.
So we won't be doing any of that the rest of the year. Then we're not going to be going to any other NASCAR races the rest of the year.
Yep.
We'll probably pick that up in 2025. So
sometime next year.
Yep. So then we have another announcement. If you can't notice, we do have the new ELH apparel wearing.
It's nice.
So we got the hats. We got the white hats.
The black
we got
hats.
the black hats.
The black hats are the big seller.
I
thought the white.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep, the white
But
ones were going to be.
I understand why, because
I
white's
know.
so much easier to get dirty, and people are like, I want to wear them.
No, yeah, people are like actually want to wear them. So they've been. We have, I don't know how many of those left, but we've sold only a few of these and more of those. So if you guys do want a hat, let us know. It's actually going to be up on our website here soon where you can actually place an order in there and we'll ship it out. Or you can come pick it up in the store. So I'm getting the Shopify thing all set up.
You can also hit us in the DMs on Instagram. You can
text
order
me,
them that way. We'll ship them out. We'll do whatever we need if you want one. So
yep, definitely trying to get those out there. So we have the hats, the T-shirts. We have long sleeve T-shirts as well.
What's the price? How much are you?
So the hats are $25.
That's not
the
bad.
T-shirts I think are $20. The long sleeves are $25. Then the nice sweatshirts that we got are going to be $40.
Do we still have some sweatshirts left?
No, I just got them.
You got new? Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get the white sweatshirts and black sweatshirts. But dude, this shit is so comfortable.
Oh, it's so nice. I love working in these.
Oh, I know. Every person I've talked to, they said it fits so nicely. So I think once people kind of know that, they'll want to pick them up, and they're super breathable.
They're
too,
good.
So.
Oh yeah, they're nice to work in. That's for sure.
And if you guys I kind of want to get into more T-shirts design. So if anybody knows out there who can kind of help me with that design aspect of it, that'd be greatly appreciated. We already have somebody that prints everything for us. We just kind of need someone who can do designs too. So maybe for the podcast, we can get a couple shirts. We do have
nice, podcast shirts.
We do car show events,
Yep.
so we need T-shirts for car show events, especially for the one coming up next year.
Yep.
The blowout we had last year.
I think next year's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that one.
Then yeah, we were thinking about maybe doing a one-off Hey Dudes as well. So maybe we're not going to sell those, but maybe you guys will see that in the future.
Maybe we might do a giveaway.
Yeah,
if this gets big enough, we can do a little giveaway.
Yeah, put a little care package together, get a hat, T-shirt, and sweatshirt, maybe a little pair of Hey Dudes.
So keep in tune for that if we decide to do that. Keep in tune.
You got any suggestions on stuff that you guys would want? Pants.
Yeah.
Shorts or not like athletic shorts like these, but we need to get shorts or pants.
I'm thinking we can do possibly like a towel because stay in that detail. Some car towels that we can get into that. I know we've talked about getting our own scent, car freshener. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I did have those on. I had them on order. I actually went to order them, and my bank would not let me order it.
Oh really?
It was like $500 for a couple hundred keychains and a couple hundred air fresheners, and for some reason the website, I don't know if it was a fraud, but
it might have been.
Maybe it
was good.
I tried my credit card, I tried my debit card, and I tried the business card, so none of them would even work.
Hopefully we don't have to change the credit cards after this.
Yeah, no, last time. So getting into kind of some of the stuff that's been happening in the shop.
We've had some messes in the shop here lately.
Yeah, and
a couple disaster details.
Have lost an employee, Garrett.
Sadly.
Sadly. Rest in peace.
R.I.P., man.
Garrett went back to college for the year.
College got him.
So he went back to college in August.
He's not dead.
Yeah. Garrett's a very smart kid. Garrett's one of the best employees that we've had, and being as young as he was 14 when he started, and he was 18 when he left.
Really?
Or this year when he left.
I guess I didn't realize he worked that many years here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Since
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he couldn't even drive. His mom would drop him off every single morning. So
he's a great
really
kid. He works so hard. You tell him what to do, he'll get it done.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything.
He's one of those.
He doesn't talk, nothing like that.
I got him to talk a bit.
Yeah, last year he
opened up a little bit.
I have here on paper that he is returning for one more year.
Is he returning?
I'm going to clip it, and I'm going to tag you. So then some of the cars that we've had, we're going to get into the dirty cars last, but we've had some pretty cool classics. That time of the year is kind of starting to dwindle down a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting some more classics probably here soon just because everybody's going to be putting them away. So we had I don't remember what year this was, but the square body, which was really cool. That was one of my favorite of
a nice truck.
The month.
Is that the one that you tried to buy?
Nope. That was
you did try to buy
the
blue one.
Then we had... This is a 1934 Gram. I've never worked on a Gram. I guess a Gram is like an independent manufacturer back from the days, and I think they got bought out either by one of the big Ford, Chevy, or Dodge.
I did not know that's what that vehicle is called. If you would have
told,
it
was what did I say?
I don't remember. Yeah,
I thought I said Gram. I might have a picture. Yeah.
It was a nice vehicle, very well taken care of. You coated this one, right?
No, this one the paint condition was really bad.
Oh, the paint correction.
So I just did like a basic wax because you can still see right here. There's like swirls. So he wasn't really worried about it. He just wanted to shine up. Looking at that, so it says Ram, but I thought it said GRAAAM.
It does kind of. Yeah, that H kind of looks like a.
On a YouTube, I made the YouTube video that I haven't put out yet. But in the beginning, I got the year wrong.
Yeah.
Then 2, I was like, Grom? I was like, I had no idea how to even fucking say it. But that car was honestly pretty cool. Turned out really nice. He's one of my long-term customers. But you don't really see, we don't see too many of these. I've never even seen one of these. But
he didn't bring that to the car show, did he?
No, he didn't even know I had a car show. He might have, but he might have been out of town, which is shocking because he's one of my good customers for a while.
Well, maybe he can get that one out here for next year's car show because I think that would do really well at the car show.
And they do drive it around. Look at it.
Oh, I didn't even see that in the car when you had it here. That's
they have
neat.
all these. I don't know if they've actually got them, but that was pretty cool.
That's actually a good idea, though. If you do a lot of traveling, and get stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, little mementos.
I wish I could have done that with my Corvette.
Yeah, that would.
Then we had this 1934. I don't even remember what this was. We did this after I made the script. But this one was pretty cool. This guy just had called me. Luckily, I had got a coating done a day early, and so I told him he could bring it by because he had a car show in Kalamazoo.
That one was completely rebuilt, right?
Oh, like, this one is totally rebuilt.
That one's completely rebuilt.
Yeah.
It had automatic doors opening. There's no door handles at all. Like everything is done through the key fob.
Yeah, so basically you just put it on you press it on the key fob, pops open. Personally, I don't know if I like that. Because one, every time I went to go open the door, I had to go grab the goddamn key. Then two, if you lock it in there, you better have the window open so you can at least reach in there. Because there's a button on the dash that pops the door open. If not, I have no idea how you're gonna even. There might be a button somewhere in the engine block, but
I feel like as like an everyday driver though, like that's totally fine. Like when it comes into the shop, it's a little tedious to have to go do all that. But as an everyday driver, I think it would be cool to have. Because I don't think you're really gonna.
No, it's like a Tesla. You walk up to the Model X and the door can pop open.
Exactly.
And you press the brake and the door will close. What else? We had I don't have any photos of it. We had a 1990s Cadillac Eldorado. Then we had this 98 Chevy Silverado with 50,000 miles on it.
A lot of miles,
but pristine.
It was so nice for having that many miles.
Yeah, I actually tried to buy it that morning.
Yeah,
before we did it.
And you don't have any photos of that one, do you?
No, I don't. I have it on my phone, but no, I didn't take any like actual photos. And this is just a Nissan Z, but dude, I love the paint on this one.
The paint was
like
really
a color
nice.
shift.
Yes, it almost had like this like wood grain type like feel to it.
Get that rainbow effect in there. See the gray area.
Yeah, the paint was really done well on this car.
Nissan 350Z. Actually, I buffed that one out and coated that one. So, and I did coat this truck. Then getting into some of the dirty, nasty cars.
Man.
I don't know if you guys seen it on our story or not, or our Facebook and everything. We had this Honda CR-V that was just absolutely loaded with mud. So I think the story was that told me was that the girlfriend either got cheated on or something happened.
Yeah.
She got all pissed off. She took a bunch of mud. We believe that she took some shit and threw it in there as well. I threw it all over the seats, stomped it on the seats, threw it in the carpets, everywhere.
Trash everywhere.
Oh, God.
Keyed up the outside of the car pretty bad.
Yeah, she keyed up the outside. I'm going to pull up the video real quick and just give you guys a quick glimpse of this because this is pretty insane.
Yeah, this thing was... I'm honestly glad there was another car in the shop that I was able to go do that one while you did this one. God. I'm kind of glad I wasn't a part of this part.
I mean, to be honest, see what I liked about this one. I enjoyed doing this because I know people are going to look at the video and be like, "How the fuck? Like, where do you even start? On something like that?" I mean, just like look at it. That's literally mud just caked up in the seats. We're gonna basically take the.
Yeah, I'm surprised this cleaned up as well as it did.
Oh yeah.
Because
it went hard on this one.
Well, I mean, the dude called us. What, a week later?
Yeah. So we got it back. I sent it back that Thursday. He called me Friday morning, at 7:50. I didn't get to the phone in time, but the message basically said he was blown away.
Yeah.
The guy, he could not believe how well it turned out. He wanted to thank us. He wanted to make sure that everybody here knew how well of a good job.
Well,
that
we were totally ready for him to like call and completely trash, be like, "Hey, you missed like stuff like here, like this isn't like all like that great." But no, he was he was excited.
Yeah, I mean, especially on this one, when I started doing the seats, as soon as the seats came out clean, I basically knew the car was gonna look brand new.
Yes.
I mean, it's so easy to tell if everything's gonna come out, and there wasn't a spot on this car that really didn't come out, maybe besides one tiny little thing. Yeah. Like tiny, like this big out of the entire car. Out of the entire car. Like, you guys have to go check out the video and
you can go to the YouTube channel, EOH Detailing.
Yep.
Go watch
Great video. I think it's my favorite video that we have made so far.
It is.
I haven't made any other ones yet. because I've kind of depleted my music.
Yeah.
I put everything into that one video, so definitely would greatly appreciate if you guys went and watched it. Getting quite a bit of views on there. I know it went wild on Facebook. People could not believe their eyes when they seen how well it turned out, and people are actually watching it. So.
Facebooks are definitely our big views. Is where we get most of ours right now.
And what I've noticed on YouTube, so one, people don't give a shit about you doing ceramic coatings or anything else. People want to see the nasty, dirty stuff.
I tried to tell you that. Like I know it's tough because it's in that it tracks more of those that we have to do every day, which
if they pay.
Yeah.
So
if you're willing to pay for something that bad, we will do it. We will make a great video out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's when I saw this, I was like, this light bulbs in my head, just make the video of it.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, it was quite a bit of fun too.
It's nice to have although it's very labor intense, but it's nice to have those cars once in a while to be able to do stuff like that with. Should we go get Brian in here? It's been about over 30 minutes. So
all right, so it's about that time to bring on my good friend and I would say basically business partner as well, Brian from Brayo Tints and Wraps. So welcome on, Brian. So we've been waiting a while to have you on here, so it's always good to get you on here. I know you probably have some stuff to talk about. So kind of where I wanted to start with you first was, what is your legal name? Can you tell us your legal name real quick?
Yes. First and foremost, thank you for having me. I'm very appreciative of being here, and thank you to all the listeners and watchers of this podcast. This is a wonderful, beautiful thing. That being said, my legal name officially is Brian Brayoda. So Brian is spelled as Brayyan, and Brayoda Brayyoda.
Gotcha. I just wanted to clear the air with that because I know you by different names. So then, where were you born, Brian?
So I was born the year that I was born.
Year and where?
So I was born in Kenya. I was born in Naivasha, Kenya. Naivasha is roughly 2 hours away from the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi. And I was born in 1998. All right. So,
Golden year. You got any brothers or sisters?
Yes. So currently I have one biological brother named Joseph, and he resides in Kalamazoo. Aside from that, I might have some step brothers and step sisters, but who knows?
We'll find out sooner or later when we go to Africa next year.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes,
we're
sir.
planning a trip to go to Africa with Brian, and we're gonna have a whole explore around Nairobi and stuff. So that should be pretty cool. Then I wanted to get in a little bit about just like you being over in Africa, kind of how you were brought up, because I know for a fact that translates a lot over to how you are today. So. What was it really like growing up in Kenya as a young boy over there?
So growing up in Kenya, definitely in comparison to the United States, definitely life is a lot tougher for sure. I'd say that in terms of culture, things are quite different, drastically different. I'll say the food is definitely different. We eat a lot of Kenyan food, a lot of Kenyan specific food that's not in the United States, unless I go to a place like Grand Rapids where there's actually an African store that sells some Kenyan foods and things of that nature. But in terms of culture, mostly, I always start off by telling people this. Most people are not aware, but country music is the most popular music in Kenya.
No kidding.
Country?
So country music, that's right.
Really?
So American country music.
Really?
Wow.
Indeed. So for the youngsters, hip hop is what's widely known for the youngsters. So a lot of people listen to American music, just like in every other country and things of that nature. Cool. And then in terms of climate is different. Obviously, we don't have snow, but there's one time where it snowed, I think 2 years ago for the first time ever in the country of Kenya. Yes, it snowed, and people are stranded because people don't know how to deal with snow. So there's a lot of road accidents and things of that nature, but it does not snow. It's mostly rainy and sunny for the most part. And it's really cold in the morning, but it doesn't really snow. So it doesn't snow at all. That being said, schools are very strict. I'm not going to go into detail with that, but schools are very strict. It's one example I'm going to say is we're taught how to write. So most people have always complimented my writing skills and this of that nature. And because we're taught how to write, and in comparison to America, children don't grow up learning how to write properly, having a beautiful handwriting, so to say. So go ahead.
They try to, but they don't stick on it as
No,
much,
yeah.
especially by how you're talking about how they're strict. We're not as strict with that as much.
Yeah, makes sense. So that's also something different. And then getting uh, lashed or whooped for getting questions wrong in class, whether it's examinations, homework, etc., that's perfectly normal in Kenya.
Mhm.
Whereas here, there will
Yeah.
be some
Oh, yeah.
some issues with the court coming
I-
in and the cops.
And I remember you coming over in 8th grade, and
Mhm.
I remember hearing those stories. Like, what the hell? Like that'd be kind of crazy to even experience. Now when you're over there, what kind of interest did you take up when you were there? What kind of options did you have, and what was kind of like some of the cultural things that you guys like to do? Just like outside of like school and everything, maybe like sports, any kind of like hobbies.
Good question. So in Kenya, soccer is very popular. And when I was not in school, and I was in school like 10 out of the 12 months, really. We didn't have summer break and things of that nature like here. So it was January was the first year of school, all the way to about October, November, actually. Now, when I was not in school, I mostly played soccer. Also, when I was younger, we had a PlayStation 2 when I was in Kenya. So video games are also popular, just like they're popular here.
Yeah.
So I used to play Mortal Kombat, FIFA,
All
because soccer is very popular in Kenya. It's people. It's just like American football here.
Mm-hmm.
So and we obviously call it football, just like in the UK.
Yep.
That being said, those were my main hobbies when I was in Kenya, and I just like playing with the plasticine and clay and this of that nature, building things. So I was creative in that regard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now is Nairobi, so kind of compare Nairobi to like a city here in the United States. Is it like a big city? You got a lot of things going on, like what a Chicago would be like. Kind of what are the difference there with Nairobi?
I would say in terms of the towers and the cities and the lights and things of that nature, it's actually pretty much similar to
Yeah.
most cities in America. Actually, when I show people pictures of Nairobi, people are shocked. They're like, "Wait, this is in Kenya?" Yes, because the media has portrayed
Oh yeah,
most of Africa as
rural.
from a
Yeah.
certain narrative. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I advise people, hey, you need to actually physically go to a country in Kenya. I specifically will say South Africa, the most advanced country in Kenya, in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and we gotta get that out of the way. Africa is not a country; it's a continent,
Yeah,
and then there's different countries within Africa. South Africa, the most advanced country in Africa, and then Kenya is, as far as I'm concerned, last time I checked, the second most advanced country in Africa. So I also suggest people, hey, you gotta stop, sitting on your rear end, watching the media telling you this and that. You gotta actually go out and experience it
Yep.
yourself.
there's like shopping malls and all kinds of same stuff there. Yeah,
100%,
Oh,
very
yeah.
advanced malls, really beautiful clothing. So, I mean, I actually say in terms of style and what's present in a place like Nairobi, it's actually, I think, more up to date compared to America. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, they're very well dressed young individuals.
Do you get a lot of different cultures there, or is it really just basically like an African culture? You get a lot of different types there.
That's a good question. So in Kenya, there's different tribes. All right. So I'm from the Kikuyu tribe, which is the most popular tribe in Kenya, and then there's different tribes in Kenya, just like the Luo, Maasai, and things of that nature. So in different parts of Kenya, you're gonna find different tribes dominating certain areas in Kenya and things of that nature. So people still living in the tribal demographic type thing.
Yeah,
So so there's a lot of tribes and things of that nature. And I always tell people, when you go to Kenya or just in general, when you go to Africa, you can look at someone who, a melanated being, and you're gonna say, oh, they're just a melanated being. But I can look at them and I can tell where they're from. I can tell
Yeah.
if they're from East Africa or West Africa by their build. In Kenya, I can tell which tribe is from, but first of all, by their name, whatever mostly their last name, I can tell, okay, they're from this tribe. Also, just by the look, the same way I can differentiate between a Chinese individual and a Caucasian individual is the same way I can differentiate
Yep.
between people in different tribes, and so we are aware of that.
Is there any similar, like you said the last name, so Ninjaguna, is there any similarities to other people in that tribe with that name, or is it, yeah?
Yes, so my actually my birth last name is Minor, and then Njuguna was my birth middle name.
Mhm.
and that's my grandfather's last name, and then my biological father's last name, Minor, which was my biological birth name,
Okay.
last name. So I can tell. So from those names, if you ask anybody from Kenya, really, Minor, what tribe is that individual from? They can tell you right off the bat. Kikuyu,
Yeah.
right
Oh,
off the
really?
bat.
Is-
Njuguna, same thing.
Are tribes more like, is that kind of like a family environment? Is just kind of like how would you describe tribes in Kenya? Like if compared to like the states, would it be like the regions? Is that kind of how it correlates?
Yes. So actually, even certain areas in Kenya, like for example, I just said I was born in Naivasha. Naivasha is primarily just by the name.
Yeah.
If you were to tell someone in Kenya, Naivasha, what type of people you're gonna find in Naivasha? Kikuyu people, Kikuyu tribe. Meru, Kikuyu tribe. Nakuru, mostly Kikuyu. Now, are there other tribes in that area, in that demographic? Oh, 100%. But mostly it's people from a certain tribe in that. Like, for example, most people know Kenya for their running, for the distance runners that Kenya produces, and also Ethiopia. So in Kenya, most people know that most elite distance runners come from a specific area called Eton.
Yeah.
Okay, and so most people know that 90% of the people who live in Eton are Kalenjin group, and the Kalenjin group are usually the people who mostly represent Kenya in distance running events. And how to know who these people are? Their last name or even their first name starts with a K or Kip. There's a lot of Kip, Kip.
Interesting.
So like
that's
the
pretty
marathon
cool.
world record holder is Eliud Kipchoge, Kipchoge.
Yeah. Do you think the family setting is a lot more important over there than it would be like here?
I would say yes.
Yeah. Do you think that's one of the aspects that you might miss over there compared to here? Just kind of like being more centralized around family instead of yourself, you know?
Yes, 100%. But I will say now things are starting to change. So the same changes and agendas, so to say, that you're seeing in America, you're starting to see them more. So it's the same stuff when we really get into the nitty gritty of it. The same divisive things that are going on, they're also going on in Kenya in terms of different tribes. So now we're going from there was a lot of unification, and now people are starting to be I'm on my own type deal.
Interesting. I wonder how that shit
Yeah.
comes to be, you know? It's so weird.
Yep. Because everybody follows America, and whatever's going on in America is going on in any other country. That's why we say if this country falls, every other country is doomed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Would you ever consider going back there and living full time at any point in your life?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So I've actually thought about that, and I've at least entertained the idea of having children in Kenya and having them raised in Kenya before moving to the States.
Is that because of the education system?
I would say just the culture.
The culture?
I would say the culture is big, and also the fact that just in general, the environment, I trust the Kenyan environment a lot more.
Okay.
And I also have yet to travel. I want to start traveling. That's one of my big ambitions. I want to see other countries in this nature, but I truly do think that this is not a coincidence. Like obviously, I'm in America. We're in America right now, and this country produces some of the sickest children in the world. Actually, the sickest children in the world, and it's not a coincidence when you look at the environment and the air quality. You look at the food quality. You look at the stress levels and things of that nature. So I've entertained the idea of raising my children in Kenya and things of that nature, and just so they can grow up the way I grew up, because it has made me who I am today.
Probably pretty smart in that aspect. So I kind of want to go back just real quick to when you were coming over here. So what was that when you finally found out that you're going to be moving from Kenya to the United States permanently? What was that journey like as being that young and having to move everything over to here?
So my mom used to talk a lot about, hey, we're going to end up in the United States one day. We're going to go. And I just used to think, hey, that's just a super wild dream. But hey, so be it. And so when she finally came to us, my brother and I, and she said, hey, you know what? In the next 2 years, we're going to be moving to the States. We got things situated and things of that nature. And so right around then, I was in 6th grade. Or class 6, we call them classes, class 1, class 2, class 6, all the way to class 8. So I was in 6th grade, and I was excited. I was like, whoa, because I never liked going to school in Kenya, because I mean it's strict. I mean your stress levels are through the roof. Every little thing you're gonna get punished for. So it's extremely strict. And not to mention, we used to wake up at 4 a.m. to be in class by 5 a.m. And then we used to get out of class because this is boarding school. I used to live in school, especially the last 2 years I was in Kenya. And we used to get out of classes around 10 p.m. and things of that nature. And sometimes even midnight. And you got homework that it's due the next day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So crazy is an understatement for sure. But I think when my mom said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna be moving in," that was great. When we went to school to get all my paperwork finalized and things of that nature, so tell them, "Hey, and actually it was in the summer, and children were in school because it was mandatory to go in school in the summer. Can you believe that you're in school for 10 months out of the year and they make it mandatory? That's how strict it is. And so when we went there, I told my mom, I'm not going into school to sign the paper. You gotta go do that. I'm gonna sit right outside the gate. I'm not working in this facility again.
More excitement than like sadness leaving there.
Oh,
and it probably helps that she did it young, instead of waiting 2 more years, being in almost close to high school. That'd probably been really tough going in that age. But what was the plane ride like? Were you just super excited? Did you guys already have a plan coming over here before, or?
I give my mom a lot of credit. She had the whole shebang planned out and things of that nature. I remember we actually spent our last final days in Nairobi, which is obviously the city. And for the first time, I was actually staying at a hotel, and this one actually was a beautiful hotel. It was my mom, my brother, and I. My dad is still in Kenya. He's a business owner, and so he was not with us, but we were excited. That's some of the funnest time of my life. I was very excited. I knew, man, I'm never going to me, my thing was, I'm never going back to school again in Kenya. I don't care about anything else.
Especially at that age too. You're excited to get out.
That's pretty cool. Then when you got here, how hard was the transition?
Right off the bat, when we stepped foot on this soil, I looked outside. It was 8-9 p.m. and it was day outside, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this about?"
Really?
I remember thinking in my head, "This is zombie land. No one is outside," because Kenya is like Spain. Kenya is like Spain. Kenya is like Spain in the regard of a lot of people outside walking. A lot of people are moving around. Now, I would say 80% of families don't own their own personal car. So they take what we call a matatu or a van. And the vans are heavily customized. I'm sure now it's even crazier, where custom rims, wraps on the side. Oh yeah, wraps. Okay. That's the thing as well. Yeah, and that was intriguing, and it's funny that I'm doing that now. That's one thing that used to intrigue me about starting vehicles in Kenya. Starting public transportation, and also tuk-tuk. So in China, you see these three-wheel carts or go-kart or whatever the case. So we also have those. Those are very common in Kenya as well. So when I first got here, no one was outside, and I was comparing that to Kenya. I was like, are there people in this country? And of course it's 8-9 p.m. so most people are inside the house. And so that was my first experience, and my first like, whoa, like this is what United States looks like, obviously in on the eastern part. And so my second shock was I would say the weather. That was, man, winter, the first winter.
I bet.
I was like, and me, because I got sick quite a bit. Because my immune system was trying to get adjusted to it. But now I'm so used to it where I can go out for 7-10 mile run in shorts and without a shirt, and it's 26 degrees outside. So I'm used to it now. It takes me about 2 weeks to adjust, but I have adjusted.
Was there any other difficulties, like the food, like cultural things, language? Because I remember I had met you fairly quickly when you came here. And you spoke English pretty well for someone who was living in Africa and stuff. But was there any kind of like difficulties around that kind of stuff?
So in Kenya, I went to a private school, so we learned how to speak English in private school. Private schools were more strict than public schools and things of that nature. So not every Kenyan knows how to speak English. In my tribe, most of us are able to speak English. Not all of us, but most of us are able to speak English. Again, in the urban area and this of that nature, not so much in the rural areas. So the language for me, it came easy. I was mostly speaking Swahili when I was in Kenya, and I remember my mom told me, "Hey, you keep speaking Swahili." The last couple of days in Kenya, my mom kept telling me, "Hey, you gotta start speaking English. We gotta start speaking English. You gotta get used to it." I was like, So when we got here, I started speaking English a lot more. and it was, to me, it was an easy transition and this was an issue. Other things that I'd say, honestly, school system, I used to say when I was in school, when I went to 8th grade, right, it was like vacation for me.
Really?
Oh, it was like vacation in 8th grade. I mean, I used to see all these children complaining about, this teacher, the biggest complaint I used to see students make was, the teacher yelled at me. I'm like, you have no idea, no idea what yelling is, because if this is yelling to you, if you get your brains will blow out.
Right.
It will blow, because yelling, you're gonna find out what yelling really is. So,
That's crazy.
so to all around, the transition was really smooth. The food, I don't remember having a hard time with the food, because for the most part we tried to search for natural ingredients as much as we could. But eating at a fast food restaurant, in a fast food restaurant for the first time, that was also it seems, I would say it was just a little bit of a change. But there was nothing that was overwhelmingly stressful.
Do you think in Swahili?
Yes. So my mom and I still speak Swahili, my brother as well. And yeah, we still speak Swahili. I don't speak it so much, not as much as them, but yes.
Could you give us a little, like maybe a little sentence in Swahili?
Yep. So I'm gonna say I'm doing well. Mimi nafanya vizuri.
I remember Sasa means hi, right?
Sasa means hi.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that one. I remember I had one sentence down when you were teaching me back in like 8th grade, but I can't remember what it was. But
yeah, because we used to live together, so we used to play. The memory I have of us, of me, also in that process of teaching you, was us playing baseball and you teaching
in the
me,
front yard,
teaching me, teaching me baseball and this and that nature. Yeah,
that was
I pretty much missed like 9 out of 10 of the bats when I swung. So hey,
baseball is hard.
It's not an easy sport. Like there's a lot of people talk about how it's so easy, I could do that. I don't know about that. It's a lot tougher than you think.
I loved it. The way you taught me, I loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty fun playing out in the front yard like that.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff about living in Africa. I think we'll get more of like a kind of like an in-depth scene of it when we go over there. I can't wait to go over there and I want to see if we can't find people from your old tribe and talk to them and just explore around there. And that's going to be a sweet trip. Kind of getting into the industry, the detailing, window tint, and vinyl wrap. Kind of, when did you make your start in that whole industry? Was it when you kind of came to work here? Was that when you first kind of realized or learned about it, the detailing stuff?
Yes. So when I first started helping you out here, it was the three of us. I picked up on detailing. I would say fairly quickly and things of that nature. And at that point, I realized that I had a passion for cars and things of that nature. So I say, hey, you know what? We were doing some really tough cars, man. Oh my gosh, because we used to do the dealerships.
Yeah, that was where it was.
I'm not gonna name any names. We don't need no free shout outs. But we used to do the dealership cars, and I was like, yo, there's no way.
So yeah, so you liked detailing at first, right?
Yeah.
Then kind of get into it, and especially with the dealership cars and the dirty cars we're doing here.
I liked it, then I didn't like it.
Slowly starting to go down.
Yeah.
Liking it, and especially working for somebody.
Yeah.
It's not an option of
yes.
Are we doing that car today or not?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
yes.
then kind of when we made our departure, you kind of left ELH, but before you even left, we knew that you were going to do the tinting and wrapping because you were pretty interested in that kind of stuff. So kind of take us into that when you left ELH and when you first started to get into the window tinting, the vinyl wrapping, when you started the actual business.
Yeah, so when I left ELH, I didn't start the window tint and vinyl wrapping right away. I actually continued detailing on my own and things of that nature. And so from my place, from the garage.
Yep.
And then I just started, I had a conversation with my family and I said, you know what, I'm going to be saving a good amount of money because I'm going to the Chi Town. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, Chicago. I might be going there to get my certifications so I can get this thing rocking. And we just followed through.
Yep. And so you kind of started with detailing as almost like, starting a new business, you got to have a little bit of a crutch to get you through with financials and stuff. So you started off with detailing. What was your first window tint job?
My first window tint job was actually a cop.
Oh, really?
It was a cop, and it was when I moved to St. Joe. The cop showed up, and he's because I'm a distance runner, so most people see me running across St. Joe High School and things of that nature, or not across St. Joe High School, behind St. Joe Stadium or Dickinson Stadium. And so this cop used to see me running barefoot on the grass and things of that nature, and he stopped by and say, "Hey, how you doing?" He's from Haiti. He was
Oh,
born in
really?
Haiti. Yeah. So he's recently relocated to Detroit, but he stopped by. He spoke with me, and he said, "Oh, you do window tint? Oh yeah, I need some 20% tint, which is illegal, ironically."
Right.
And so, and I said, yeah, stop by and we can get you in and get you taken care of. And man, that was the first job that I did. It was I will never forget. It was a 2008. It was a Tundra. It was a Tundra truck. And man, let me tell you, that was a tough way to get things going, because the driver's window took me 2 tries. The passenger window, it took me 10 tries.
Oh
Literally.
my God.
I installed the film, scrapped it 10 times.
Yeah.
That's a tough way to get into the industry.
Oh yeah, that would make you want to quit. That's for sure. What do you think made you be interested in window tint? Just like was it just the overall aesthetics of it? Like working on cars and everything, or
First and foremost, my main interest in window tint or anything else was it was gonna be anything else but detailing.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be anything else but detailing. And so that was my first thing. I was like, you know what? I don't think I might be doing this detailing thing for the rest of my life. This ain't for me like that, you know what I'm saying? But other than, I will say, up to this day, I still I'll get my mom's car in here. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
And I will detail it, I will
Yeah,
detail my own
yeah.
car once in a while, this of that nature, but it's something simple, you
yeah,
know.
nothing too crazy.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's how I got into window tint. The other reason why I got into window tint is I just liked the idea. It seemed to me it was an art form, and it's the same thing with vinyl wrap and paint protection film. It's an art form in a sense, and I liked working with the film, covering the film the way I want to fit whatever object I want it to fit, and I absolutely love that.
That's cool. So it's kind of the same thing with rapping too. Just kind of like dabbled your feet into it, and you picked it up. You liked it. Which one do you prefer?
That's a good question. Which one do I prefer? That's a tough question. If you were to tell me, hey, you're gonna make $5,000 today, how do you want to make that $5,000? I'd probably say it depends on the car.
I was gonna say it has to depend
It depends on the car. It depends on the car. Because if it's a simple vehicle, just a simple vehicle all around, whether it's the windows are simple or the paint, the structure of the car is simple, I would honestly go with paint protection film.
Yeah.
Because the profit margin is not compared to.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
give me a car, let's say just an average car, just random, if you're telling me we're gonna give you a random car, you're gonna spin a wheel, you're gonna take a random car in the United States, I would honestly go with window tint.
Yeah.
I would honestly go with window tint. In regards of profit, I would go with window tint. In regards of what I'm really I'm gonna have pleasure and just a good time doing, I will go with the wrap.
Takes a lot longer.
It does.
Yeah.
It takes a lot longer. It's I like to say, we live in a culture where a lot of people have ADHD, so to say. All right, not literal ADHD, but people have a very short attention span.
Yes.
I'm the exact opposite. I have a very long attention span. So, and that's why I'm able to sit there and entertain film related work.
It's mentally exhausting. I know that just
100%.
from trying, because I went to the window tint training, and first day I was like, not for me. I got 2 days left, so I better do whatever I need to do.
Strap
but
out.
it ain't for me. I'm not. It's not going to be my thing. So I can see where it comes in to be mentally exhausting and everything like that. And you went to training too, right? The Chicago Auto Pros. You went to training for what? Detailing, window tint, and
paint correction, ceramic coating, and then I tried to tell them, hey, I tried to talk to E-Man. Hopefully E-Man is gonna hear
I'll clip it.
whether he hears this or no. Shout out to E-Man. He was a great teacher, and Jose as well. I credit them because they taught me, and also I also credit YouTube University. I graduated.
Oh, yeah.
Partly
Oh, yeah.
graduated from YouTube
So much you
University.
can learn off
Yeah,
YouTube.
dude.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
my
but not
gosh.
everything. I took online classes that I had to pay for and things of that nature. But I will say, I had to go to Chicago and learn different things. Chicago Auto Pro specifically. At that point, it was led by Jason. I gave him credit as well. He's done wonderful things in there, and so yeah, they taught me a good amount of skills, and it was up to me. I mean, listen, with the certification, you learn how to do the basics, but I also tell people who potentially see something like this as, can I do this on my own car instead of and save money? I tell them, hey, look, you can do this. You can do it over and over, and you can learn how to do your own car.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to doing this long term, you gotta be flexible. That's key. You have to be flexible because every single car is a learning experience. So you can go and learn how to, like for example, I learned how to tint on a simple vehicle, on a Honda Civic, I think, and yeah, you learn how to tint that one car, but every car is different.
So do you think it's a little bit easier to almost like learn from somebody instead of like, trying to watch YouTube videos? Do you think it was super beneficial going to those classes? Or do you think you could almost done it without it? Considering how much money they are,
So this is what I said I commented in Cap's YouTube videos, one video, and I specifically said if I could go back, actually I would have, instead of spending a couple $1,000s to take this class, I probably should have bought film and actually put my hands on film.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done, because what I did was I was a little bit intimidated to put my hands on film. I paid for the class, got to the class, and like you, the first day, I was like, dude, why did I pay for this class?
Yeah.
I can do this. All I should have did, I should have taken 5% of what I paid for the class, just 5%, buy a 100-foot roll of film, and get to work.
Yeah. Yep, I can understand that, because the classes aren't cheap. I almost feel like the classes are for like, super, super beginner. And when you went, you had already had a good basis, I feel like.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like
Yep.
you kind of already had at least done a little bit of it, then you went. So
yes, I'd say classes are more for people who have low self-confidence and they just need a little push, a little baby push. Like, hey, you can do it,
get the tools, kind of like learn everything you need.
Get
Because there's so many
Yep.
videos out there. It's like it could be overwhelming.
Yes.
Like, what video do I watch? But I know these guys, I just go there and they show me everything. That's kind of probably what the mindset is.
Yeah, personally, if anybody's interested in pursuing this type of career, I personally would say if you touch film, you can tell, like you. I mean, if you'd have done the same thing as well, you'd have kind of say, you know what, there's no way, man. This, yeah.
I don't even think I went home after the class. I don't think I tinted one car. I was like, this is not going to be my.
Was Brandon's car the first car that you actually put?
I might have. I think I did that before.
You did that before.
Oh,
you did that
fucking
before.
Disaster. It was a disaster. I mean, you seen it.
Yeah.
Bubbled up like no way. Getting in the Brayo Tints and Wraps. So the name, where'd you get the name from? Just
Good question. So like I said, my first name is Brian, and so in Swahili, Brian in Swahili, because Kenya, I'm from Kenya. I was born in Kenya, and the main language in Kenya is Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
And in Swahili, the name Brian is said as Brayo, Brayo.
That's pretty cool.
And so that's where I got that name from. And also my last name, Brayoda, obviously Brayo is part of that, and it's of that nature. So yeah.
Sweet. Then what have out of the cars that you have tinted and wrapped, tinted or wrapped, what have been some of your favorite cars?
I would say I'm gonna say that my favorite car is the first car that I ever did, which was a Porsche 1999 Porsche Boxster.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I absolutely enjoyed working on that car. I did that in my tent.
Yep, at home.
In my tent at home, and so it was a nice little space, and I mean I enjoyed working on that car. So I'll probably say the truck, the Tacoma, the 2019 Tacoma truck is probably quote unquote, I would say, I don't want to say my least favorite, but it was the one that I least looked forward to working on, especially the bumpers. I mean, it doesn't look like this back bumper. There's a back bumper back there, but there is something, and that thing is tough.
It's Tacoma.
That thing is tough. I just finished wrapping a Porsche, 2023 Porsche.
Looks really well out there too. By the
yes,
way.
yes. Taycan or Taycan, some people call it that. 4S model. obviously of $120 $120K car.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And
All
I
electric.
all electric,
Yeah,
indeed. And man, the bumpers were tough. The bumpers ate me alive.
I was surprised to come in here this morning, and to see both the bumpers done. Well,
Yes.
actually, not just the both bumpers and the whole back deck lid.
And the whole and the whole
so-
shebang. So that especially that front bumper, that was time consuming.
Yeah,
Man, I'm telling you, I was dripping sweat last night
really.
because the amount of heat that I had to use, and then
Yeah.
obviously with vinyl, it's an art, and you gotta maneuver the film in a certain way, put stretch here, shimmy here and then, this of that nature, and just the whole shebang, and using heat, and it was
And you only
cooking.
got 2 hands.
And I only got 2
Yeah,
hands. I wish
so-
I had 4 hands like
right.
Goro in Mortal Kombat when I used to play Mortal Kombat.
I love Mortal Kombat. Great game.
So how do you think it's been running a business?
I would say it's exactly how you told me it would be
Yeah.
when we spoke before you bought the business from Pops. And
Mhm.
so you gotta invest a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
I pretty much don't have a life. I always tell people I pretty much don't have a life outside of working, training, and taking classes. I'm always taking classes and this of that nature because there's always new car coming out, all different techniques of installation, this of that nature, especially in the industry that I'm in. You always have to be flexible, stay flexible, and adapt. So I pretty much don't have a life. That's pretty much my experience as a business owner. And you know what? I love it. This is to me, as I've made this my hobby. All right, whether something it's a quote. Whether you say you can or cannot do something, both of those are usually right.
Mhm.
So my mindset is whether you say you hate something or you love something, no matter how hard or easy it is, both of those are going to be right. It's just a mentality. And so
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, I had
Yeah.
to enjoy doing this. Is it stressful? Oh, 100%. It is stressful because film, there's always a chance that film can fail.
Yep. So you're working out of EOH now. Kind of take us through not bumpy road, but the couple places that you were before until you ended up back in here basically full time.
So I started by helping out Elaine at Extreme Detailing. I was helping him out and I was doing my jobs over there. Actually, I started doing my jobs here. Remember, I used to do the dealership stuff here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I used to do the dealership stuff here, and then I moved to our garage, and I was working out of there outside, and then doing dealerships. And then I moved in with Lane. I was helping him out, and also I was doing my jobs over there as well while doing dealerships. And then after that, there was a fire. Obviously, the area got closed down, and so I moved to my working from my apartment and things of that nature. And so I was working from there, working in the tent, and it was tough because I was working outside detailing in the winter, and I was freezing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, I bet.
I was standing on the air compressor, and within 5 minutes, the air was frozen, and I would have to take the whole air compressor into my glass door
Yeah.
for like 10 minutes for everything to warm up, take it outside real quick, chop,
You probably got
catwalking
all
everywhere.
This water in there too.
Yeah.
probably.
And so that was tough working in the winter, but I knew
Oh, yeah.
that good things were gonna come out of this and this
Oh,
of that
yeah.
nature. And so after that, I think I moved into my own shop in St. Joe. Actually, that's what happened. I moved into my own shop in St. Joe, and rent was up there, but I was comfortable. I knew I was gonna be able to pay that rent. I pay rent every single month, but after I think I signed a 1-year lease. After like 3 or 4 months, I talked to the owner and I said, you know what, I don't think this is a good deal with what I'm getting. I don't have a restroom in here. I don't, because when you're getting into things, you just oh man, I gotta get going. But when I was in there, I realized, you know what, I'm not getting what I've been paying rent and this of that nature, doing my dues, and I don't have a restroom in here. Man, let me tell you, the electric furnace. I mean, that electric was eating up.
Yeah, it was huge, and it had insulation, which is crazy.
Yes,
Like,
yes, it was. Yeah, and obviously in the summer, it would have been
Yeah,
it would have been eating up that bill.
yeah,
And I knew there's no way because I had to keep turning it on and off during the winter, and this was that nature. But man, I just knew. I talked to the owner and he said, you know what, I hear you. Let's just go from here and go from there. And so I talked to you and I said, you know what, let's just make this happen and and
smart
go from
move
there.
because that building, for the amount of money you paid for it, it didn't do anything in equal value since it was so far off the road.
Exactly.
No setup, like
Yep.
it wasn't the perfect setup, so just almost just
Yeah. Every time I
waste.
I
of
booked
money.
an appointment, I agree. Every time I booked an appointment, customers who are also on the phone. I can't see you. I can't find you. Where are you? And I give them the direction. It's still a struggle. And I said, you know what? People can't even find me. The whole point of me wanting to be there was to be to be on a busy road in this nature. And then the other predicament, which was a bigger one than even what I was getting with the unit, was the city gave me a hard time about putting a business sign by the road.
Yeah, so that's just a nail in the coffin.
Oh yeah,
I mean, how are you
got to get out of there.
Oh yeah. So I just talked to the owner and I said, look, I need a business sign by the road, or at the very, you know what I'm saying, or at least a building near the road.
Yeah.
So I want to get in kind of some of the challenges that comes along with the window tinting and vinyl wrapping business, especially like in a smaller area like this. So not necessarily a window tint. We don't have that many window tinters around. But for vinyl wrapping, do you think it being such a new service for this area, it's kind of a challenge to really kind of beat it in people's minds that these are an option that you can do with your vehicle, especially not the daily driver is not going to get a full wrap on their car unless they have commercial business or stuff like that. But for the car guys, it's almost like you don't really see it around here, so you got to beat it into people's heads that they can do that. So do you think that has been a real challenge for you on vinyl wrapping?
So so right now the challenge is trying to make people understand the importance and the value of vinyl wrap, of putting film on a vehicle and things of that nature. Because I was just speaking with a client yesterday, funny enough, and we were talking about how a lot of people will literally go to the dealership, they will buy a new car, the same car, maybe a one year or give or take, 1 year older or newer, just to change the color of the car, just to have a new color, new paint, and then they pay 5, 10, 15 grand for that car. And it's actually, the car is no different than the old car that they had. Maybe they used to have a 2022.
So say like I don't know if people ever thought of it this way, but if you have all the money in the world or close to it, and say you get a new Porsche and there's not a specific color you want, or the specific color you want is $15,000 to $20,000 more, when you can go with a basic white, which is the cheapest option, and you can get a $4,000 to $6,000 wrap, and still be you have the unlimited options of a vinyl wrap, and it would be cheaper than painting. And with painting, it's never going to be perfect again, so that's going to be the issue, and two, it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Yes, so I would say that's also. And of course it's not permanent. So if that person, because most people get bored very quickly. So most people have a car, and after even 2-3 years, they're like, I'm bored of this color, and that could be the sole reason why someone gets a new car. But if they're aware, hey, you don't have to repaint your car, because obviously you significantly lower the value of the car. You can just add a film on the car, and it's gonna look just like a paint finish, as long as it's protected. And protected.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll look like a paint finish as long as it's done professionally. And you're gonna have a new car. You pretty much, quote unquote, new car, new paint, new color.
New car to you, If you change the whole entire color of the car, it's gonna be just visually different. So, then for window tinting, what do you think some of the challenges have been there? Do you think it's been them already coming pre-tinted, especially on the new cars, where all the back windows are gonna be slightly tinted? So, a customer sees that and they want it to match. They're not gonna want the rest of the back, tinted if it already is. So.
Yes, I would say that's the biggest challenge.
You just click it.
I would say that's the biggest challenge, simply because it cuts the profit significantly when the rear windows are already tinted or shaded. Now, we're starting to see more people getting the market of ceramic film, and obviously no shaded glass is ever going to have ceramic properties ingrained in it. Now, we're going to see something like that in the future. Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. And also, like we've talked about, we're going to see a technology where you can actually change different shades, whichever one you want. Maybe during the day, you want to click a button and the shade is 5%. Yeah. Maybe at night, you want to click a button and the shade is 20%.
Tell Brian about the BMW that you cleaned with the shadeless. The shade.
Yeah, like so the video, like the top sunroof. You click a button. Next thing you know, it's completely dark. It's completely this new. Like you see them in movies where they have like the big windows in like a giant room, and they can hit a button in an office, and it's shaded. It's pretty much the same technology they're starting to put into cars now, where if you hit a button, now you have a completely tinted window above you, and it's really neat. It's actually really cool to see, but it also kind of hurts you at the same time, because then it's like if you have so much of that technology, then what's the point of getting your window tinted if you can just hit a button and boom, it's shaded. It's a neat thing, but it's also it's kind of like it's putting more stress on you, I'd say, to have more people to come in.
Yep. So I would say we're gonna see a lot more of that. I'm anticipating that happening and this of that nature. And so, and I would also say, second thing I would say that has been a challenge with window tint is a lot of dealerships are starting to have guys in there tinting windows and this of that nature. And so they're offering it. Let's say customer comes in, they want tint. They actually include it into the price of the car. Maybe if you actually investigate, you find out, oh, they actually upcharging their specific car by maybe 1,000, 2,000 for tint. If you actually read into the details and nitty gritty of it, and then they have a guy come in and do it for maybe 400. Maybe it's something that I would charge for 400. They charge 2,000 included into the pricing and all the paperwork. So you get lost in the sauce. You don't even know. And so that's also another issue. I would say the other issue I would say with window tint is the law enforcement.
Oh,
the law enforcement. That's because a lot of people, I think a lot more people would get window tint if they didn't. They were not in a state of fear, thinking, "Oh, it's illegal. It's illegal," you know. But most people are not aware that 35% is the legal limit in the state of Michigan. You can get 35% at the very least, and you're gonna be good. That being said, I think I'm choosing to embrace the challenges. I know they're gonna be there in general, just like any business. Any business is gonna have their own challenges. So, you know, like for example, with you detailing during the winter, things are gonna dry up a little bit more compared to the summer and the spring seasons. That being said, that's why I'm also adding paintless dent repair into my services to kind of cover for the you know,
smart.
How do you plan on so since it is kind of newer stuff, how do you plan on bringing that to people's attentions? Do you think it's gonna be by videos, or how do you think?
The dent repair,
everything, just like
everything.
more or less vinyl wrap and window tinting.
I'd say what I've been doing starting this year, obviously we created the Facebook page, so continue posting on there, and then maybe create an Instagram page in the future. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna make some difference. I would also say just being patient, doing good work, focus on what I can, do good work, because I think 80 to 90% of businesses is relying on people rebooking and people also talking to other people about booking. So I'm gonna say I don't like putting my eggs in one basket. I'm gonna do different things. Facebook, YouTube, we uploading on YouTube. Mostly I upload on YouTube for my customers to see the videos and my work, because I get customers coming and say, hey, I watched some of your videos and I see how you do this and that and I like that. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Mostly it's for my customers so they can see, because some people don't want to just look at photos. Photos don't tell the whole story. Some people want to see the video.
I like how you run your YouTube. It's almost like a portfolio in your sense, where it's like you can see what I've done. You see my work. This is how I do it. You can see this is what I'll be doing to your car. Like I'm trustworthy, like know.
Yep, and people can also compare my work to other channels that upload online. They can see, so that guy has, even though that guy has 500,000 subscribers, he's doing the same exact thing this guy is doing. There's literally the same exact thing. He's using pretty much the same tools. Okay, so this is professional work. So,
yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing for a lot of like those customers, like or just people in general, if you have any questions, literally all you have to do is just call you up. If you call you up, you're such a smart, intelligent man who knows his window. You know your subject. And you can easily, I know when I talked to you about possibly doing my car and you were telling me all these things, it's like, wow, you study this stuff. So you know it well. And I have to give you a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to be a big thing is teaching people. Like they know it's out there, but you got to really hound in and on teaching them. One, because of the window tint, people always just think it's just for people can't see me. That's every time. That's what all these people think is that's the only reason why they get window tint. So educating the people on the stuff, on that, and especially vinyl wrap too, it's just not a color aesthetic thing. It actually can help protect your paint. And now they're coming out with PPF, color PPF. So I think it's going to be a huge thing, is just teaching people and all the benefits about it and why it costs that price. And I think it'll just take time and you'll get there.
Yeah,
especially being the only one around. Yeah. You know, because we always hear oh, I take my cars down to South Bend to get it wrapped for my business. So
Indiana.
Now, yep. So it's going to be a huge thing with the commercials or the commercial business where if you can start getting a lot of that, where they have all these different vehicles, fleet vehicles, it's going to be a huge thing. And I think a lot of it is people just don't know. I mean, even with the detailing business, people be like, oh, how long you been here? Decade.
Yeah.
Even now, you still get that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one last week. Like, how long you been here? Decade. You know, it's the same exact building. So you're always going to have people out there that don't know, but it's good to just inform everybody. So, did you go through any certified training for the vinyl wrapping? You want to explain that to us?
Yes, I attended. I'm not no free shout outs again. I did attend one specific brand's training certification exam. Okay, I attended it twice. I will say I do not recommend it. I'm probably never gonna do it again. I say because I went into it with the objective of, hey, I get a certification. I can put it on the website. I can put it on different places and things of that nature. Just something to add on to the, a little shimmy. And so I say it was definitely an interesting experience to say the least.
Yeah.
I basically concluded that, hey, you know what, these guys
Scam.
It's pretty much what it
pretty
sounds
much
like.
what it is. And so I realized, hey, the more they can say, oh, this and that need to be corrected. So yeah, you're gonna have to come back, my guy. They make more money.
Yeah.
And it's a business just like anything. And when you start a business, you're looking to profit. And so I personally don't want to deal with that situation.
Yep.
I want to deal with a situation where, let's say, if let's say one of my teachers, like I'm a student of Justin Pate, and let's say he says, hey, we have maybe a $250 certification training or class or whatever the case, or shop work and stuff, I would attend something like that.
Yeah.
But it can't be something that's
thousands of dollars
constantly being advertised as, hey, you need to attend this good certification. Maybe it's something once a year. Maybe one of my teachers who I have many teachers. Maybe one of my teachers is going to be stepping in Michigan to do a workshop in this of that nature. Maybe something I would attend something like that.
Yeah.
But I personally would not encourage anybody to attend any of these certification stuff because
especially the biggest company out.
Yeah, especially the big. Yeah. I would say top three. I'd put 3M above every. I would say three. Most people are more familiar with 3M because 3M also makes many other things.
And they own everything.
Yeah.
Would you rather own your own tint company or work for like one of the most prestigious shops in the country? So if you had the opportunities for someone real famous on YouTube or just a real prestigious shop for you to be a full-time rapper there or a vinyl rapper, would you rather do that or own your own business though?
That's a very easy choice. I'd rather own my own business and work by myself. I like working by myself. I do everything by myself. Once in a while, if I need a hand, you guys will help me out. And so I like that because I'm able, my hours, obviously, my hours are different in this of that nature because I have other things going on in this of that nature. So I like how even what we have here, the way we coordinate things, I like coming in whenever it's convenient for me and I do what I need to do, however long I want to do it for, and I go from there. When you're dealing with someone else's business, well, they're going to tell you, hey, we need to get this and done by today. We need to get this, that, and done by tomorrow. And me personally, especially with the industry that I'm in, sometimes you work on a bumper and you say, hey, this is what I'm working on today.
Yeah.
I'm working on the bumper and that's it. But if someone else is telling me, hey, we need to work on the bumper, you need to work on the 4 doors today, it can be that stress can start adding up over time, and it's like, this doesn't make any sense from my perspective. So, and that's my experience. And just in general, I've always been known as someone who, I like to do my thing. And so I like to do my thing, and it's really that simple for me. And I'm happy doing my thing right now, working on my own hours, setting my own prices and this of that nature. And there's times where customer came in and they wanted a service, and I told them this is how much it costs. What's your budget? Okay, they tell me their budget. I'm like, okay, can we meet somewhere in between? I want to be able to control that for the people because at the end of the day, it's not just about money. It's also about, okay, this person wants a service. Let's take care of them at the very least.
Yep. Yeah, because that you never know, it might go a long way. Which I've had multiple times where we've detailed a POS car, just a rust bucket, and all of a sudden, the following week, the guy buys a brand new pickup truck and spends $2,000 on a coating.
Yeah, that's right.
You never know who's gonna like who you want to impress. Yeah, that's why we always try the hardest on every single car because you never know what is behind that. Or who the people he's talking to, the connections that he has, and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I wanted to say was we need to bring you to a NASCAR event with us and go behind on pit road. And I want to show you because those cars are all vinyl wrapped. It's every single one of those cars. And I sent you that video where
Custom print.
Yep. So it's that big custom print, and they vinyl wrap the cars. So maybe we can get Brian with a connection in there, and they bring him in for a couple weeks or so, and you can vinyl wrap cars like you do over at what you've been doing at Artifacts. So
that'd be cool.
What do you think your dream window tint or vinyl job would be? Like on a certain car? Is there a certain car that you just dream about doing just because the difficulty of it, just because you like it, or anything as such?
Actually, my answer to that is no. I don't have any dream car because I think all vehicles are overrated.
Yeah.
And it's just a big toy moving around.
Yep. Is there one that you would specifically want to work on? Like vinyl wrap?
I would say, hey, I wouldn't mind working on a Bugatti.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind working on a Bugatti, so I can just say, hey, man, we need to get a Ferrari. A $20 trillion car.
Yeah.
And this how we roll.
Yeah. Need to get a Ferrari in here and change it color or something. Because, Ferraris only come in like in black, white, red. So
is that the case?
Yep. Usually they only yellow maybe.
My issue with that is I know some Ferrari cars, they actually can sue you for customizing.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So
they send a cease and desist to you if you're posting videos about it.
I'm not trying to catch a case, man.
Yeah. Right. So before we end it off here, kind of just list off the services that you do.
So my top 4 services are window tint, vinyl wrap, paint protection film, and paintless dent repair.
Perfect. Then, in your head, what does the future of Brayo and Tints look like?
The future of Brayo Tints and Wraps is never ending. It's going to keep expanding, and maybe not, but I like to maintain an open mind. Like I said, I've made this my life, and I want to make this my legacy. So I think the future is bright. I will say that. Whether it's in Michigan or it's in Arizona, the future is bright.
Oh yeah, thinking about moving it somewhere else in one day.
I'm also considering more having multiple locations.
Yeah.
So like have a location in Michigan, like have a location here, have a location in. Let's say I would like to have a location in Bridgman, a location in St. Joseph. If out of state, I'd like to have a location in, let's say, Arizona, maybe a location in Florida.
Go down there in winter.
But mostly a location in somewhere where it's winter, like Michigan, and a location where somewhere someplace that's summer.
Yep.
And this way, during the winter, I can move over there, knock out jobs, book those jobs for that, and then come back here and things of that nature, and kind of go from there.
Very nice.
But I think for the most part, I would like to do my best to try and mingle everything, as much as I can solo. But I think, obviously there's limitations with doing things solo, but I love it.
I feel like it'd be nice if we could get not a huge building, but a nice building that we can build and have a section for every little thing.
Yep.
And just have it all in one place.
Yep.
It'd be nice to have it all right here on the red arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Just knock down these buildings and have a nice shop.
Yes.
And it all be included in one.
Yes.
But I guess we'll see where the tide takes us. So.
Indeed.
All right, Brian. Well, I do appreciate you being on the Detailers reunion. It's always interesting talking to you. I hope you had a good time. Then we'll definitely have you on back for future episodes. Since you're always working, always doing different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got some upcoming stuff. I'm gonna be taking you guys to Cedar Point, I think sometime in October. So we're gonna have to do that probably in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna go out there. Then I do want everybody that is listening or sees this clip, we are actually been nominated for one of the finalists again for the Herald Palladium Choice Awards. So if you can go to our Facebook, our website, we send out emails. We have a link to the actual place to go vote. We're taking home the award this year. Last times I haven't tried. This time I am trying, and I'm going to be the winner for the next 10 years straight. So if you guys can go vote, that would be greatly appreciated, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I have to cut the crickets.
Little crickets.
Hey, but that's actually kind of goes.